Okay, this is the way it's gonna run in the car, so let's make a test. Ready? Let's go for it. And here we are on the dyno with the last test, and the engine is finally ready for the Charger 500.
Welcome back to Nick's Garage. This week, Nick has been spending a lot of time in the dyno room, his favorite part of the shop. This is where he tests and tunes the engines he builds and restores. And more often than not, he's also building dreams.
Hi, I'm Nick from Nick's Garage, and here I am with a special 440 that belongs to a 69 Charger 500, which they made only a few of them, just about 392 units they made in 69. And this special 440 belongs to Eugene from Austin, Texas. Yeah, you know, we've been doing a lot of testing with this engine, but today is the final day. I wanted to finish it off the way Eugene is gonna put it in his car. You know, back in the day when he bought the car brand new, he used to do some drag racing, and I remember him telling me that he bought a 780 CFM carburetor, which is this one here. Because when we received the car a couple of years ago, this was a dried up, stained carburetor. So we had to rebuild so we could put it back on his engine and run it the way he ran it back in the early 70s. Sure, we did some testing with the thumper carb, made more power, but you know, the thumper carb belongs to the dyno room. We also relocated him an AVS carburetor, matching carb to the 440 automatic. Even this one did some decent horsepower. We're gonna show later on the paperwork. So the thumper did the job, got us almost 550 horsepower, or should I say practically 550. The AVS was just about there, 530 something, but this is the way we're gonna run it on the car. And today I wanna see what we're gonna pull with the original 780 that Eugene bought back in the early 70s. We've got a 440 here with trick flow heads with a 240cc intake runner. We have a Performer RPM intake manifold from Elderblock, 780 Holley CFM, vacuum secondaries, single pump, the electronic ignition. We got 1 7/8 tubing header. We have a 10.97 compression ratio with almost 200 PSI cylinder pressure. So this is all we have. And a cam, well, it's a cam that Eugene picked. I'm not gonna say what number or anything. You know, some things are secret, so I want to keep it that way. I don't want to mention it. I can tell you it's a Howard's cam, but what specs? Well, it's a hydraulic flat tapping cam. That's what I can tell you. Also with the 1.6 rockers. And we're just going to take it to 5,700 RPM because all the power comes in at 5,500 RPM. And there we have it. And we're running also a 94 octane fuel from Petro-Canada. I also wanted to mention that we are using flat top pistons with a 6cc notch on them for valve reliefs. Also zero deck the block, and it's a 30 over bore. We're using a 39 thou head gasket, and like I said, we're gonna do whatever we have because this is the way it's gonna go in the car. After it's all done, we're gonna take off the carburetor and distributor, and we're gonna paint it completely orange. And it's the way Eugene wants it, a completely Hemi orange paint job on the engine. But what really freaks me out is he's had this carburetor for over almost 50 years. And look at that, it's back on the engine. This is the way we found it when the car was shipped here. And you know, he's back in the days, Eugene used to race his car. He's taken off the AVS. And then he bought this very common carburetor back in those days, was the 3310 780 CFM vacuum secondaries. He bought one, put it on, and here we are, what, almost 50 years later, and it's back on the engine. Okay, so we have some updates on it because he was looking for over 500 horsepower, maybe drag race it once in a while, but he's a street cruiser, and it's a nice car. He wants to put it in. He's the original owner. He wants to get it back home and drive it because the last time this engine ran was 1974. And you know, I've been building a lot of cars from the dead, and this car when it came here was all dried up. And my job is to bring a lot of cars back to life again and bring back them dreams or youth to our generation that had these cars in the first place. I was hoping Eugene would have been here. be here right in the dining room with me so we can do some testing together. I'm sure then you can play with the accelerator, come and see everything, play with the timing, whatever you want, have a good time with me. But he's down in Texas. But like I told him, we're going to do as much video we can. I'm going to try everything I've done for him. He's got all the results. But now I just want to make a test, finalize it the way it's going to be dropped into the car. The only thing I'm going to replace when it's installed into the car, I'm going to go with the Chrysler ignition system with the Chrysler distributor, which we're going to fabricate the curve same as this MSD with the vacuum advance. So in the meantime, while that distributor is on order, I'm going to be doing the testing with this. Every engine has a limit, and we still have the potential of making more power out of this engine. But Eugene and I, we settled down that we're going to leave it the way it is. It's good enough for what it is. It's got good power. It is a matching motor to the car, so we do not want to abuse it. So we wanted to keep it simple, just under 550 horsepower, and enjoy the ride. Eugene here has practically almost 550 horsepower, 572 pounds of torque with a thumper carburetor. Meanwhile, my Kawasaki Challenger has only 400 HP. Now, how much more do you want for a regular, or should I say, for a street car? It's more than enough, I'm sure of that. And of course, even with the 780, you know what? Let's make a test with this carburetor. I want to see what it's going to perform. It is going to stay with the car. And then I want to try the original, genuine air cleaner with a simple paper element filter. I remember this car when it came in, it had a tow bar in the front. It was all dried up, seats were dried up. He had a little air cleaner. Actually, give me 2 minutes, I'll be right back. I just want to show some of the items that Eugene had installed in the car when he bought the car, when he used to race it back in the early 70s. Here's an example. This is the air cleaner that came with the car when he brought it here, or should I say when the car was shipped here. This was on the carburetor. This is the air cleaner. Then he also had installed a dual point, I believe, Mallory. Is it a Mallory? Yes, a Mallory distributor. Here it is, dual point. This is what Eugene had installed then, with a Mallory ignition coil. All right, he had this installed. Then he also installed a whole bunch of spacers for the carburetor base plate. We wanted to make it a spacer or whatever. The breather that he also had with his valve cover. And these are the valve covers that came with the engine when he changed them back in the early 70s. So right now, the only thing we're using from all the items that Eugene had put on is the original carburetor that he bought himself in the early 70s. And besides that, okay, we changed the intake. But just to show you, we've located now original valve covers. We went back to the carburetor that he had. We've located an AVS original carburetor. And this is all nostalgia that brings Eugene back to his youth that he installed himself on the car back in the early 70s to go racing. And there you have it. Eugene, all these pieces are going back to you. We're gonna have them all packed up, put them in the trunk when the car is delivered to you. But in the meantime, I saved it and I wanted to show it to you. And there we have it. Imagine the difference between that air cleaner and that air cleaner. Look at the difference, you guys. Talk about details. Look at the genuine piece and the one that's aftermarket. Anyways, it's been storage for so many years. In the meantime, there we have it. And now we got the engine running. And Eugene also had a set of headers installed on the engine back then when the car came here from California just over a year ago. And those headers were thrown out, they were badly rusted. So now he's just located a set of brand new headers from American Racing, stainless steel, right here. 1 inch, 1/7/8. Nice set of headers. Okay, Eugene, you've been waiting for a long time. So let's get it running for the last time, finalize it. The way we're gonna put it in the car with your old 780 Holley that you bought back in the day. So let's get it warmed up, and I wanted to show you something special which I've never done to any engine. I want to show you guys when headers turn red hot, how cool it looks. Or should I say, how hot it looks. Let's warm it up and take a look. Here we go. I'm just waiting for the O2 sensor to go back on. Come on, come on. We're waiting for it to come on. There we go. And ready for start.
With the engine well warmed up, Nick sets up his dyno for a test.
Okay, there we have it. We're going to start a test at 2800 RPM, take it all the way to 5700 RPM at 300 RPMs per second. Alright, we're going to do one test with the 780 Holley that Eugene has bought. We're going to do the test. We set up the timing, everything's already set up. We're just going to make a test with and without the air cleaner, because this is the way it's going to be installed into the car. You folks ready? Here we go. Okay, so we did a test without the air cleaner. And let's see what we've got. Here we go. You know what, we got like, wow, we got 554 torque at 4,400. And at 2,800, where we started with was 490 torque. Anyways, horsepower, we got it in at 529 at 5,500 RPM. I'm debating if I'll make another test. And then after that, we're gonna go with the air cleaner. But I'm sure I was in the 530s before. But you know what? My goal is right now to see what it makes a difference between as is with no air cleaner and then with the air cleaner. And I know this thing had a potential without the air filter on before we were into 535 range. That was another day. So now let's put on the air cleaner and see what we have as a difference. Ready? Let's do it. Okay, this is the way it's going to run in the car, so let's make a test. Ready? Let's go for it. You know, a lot of people send me emails on how to build their engines and what information they need and info. But you know what, there's a lot of things I've gone through in my past. I've gone through a lot of time and research and doing all this. And a lot of people, a lot of want freebies. But you know what, there's some things that I got to keep as a secret. I've been doing this all my life. And you know, there's a lot of things I went through a lot of time and effort to get it done, work for the right stuff. And that's why I don't answer every email I get. Some I do, some I don't. For instance, like this engine, the cam is top secret. Why? Maybe that's what the customer wants. Maybe that's what I want. Let's keep it to ourselves and that's it. But I gave you guys most of the information on this engine anyways. It is a flat tappet cam. It is a Howard's cam. What the specs are, I can't say. It's also up to the client who owns this engine. It's up to him if he wants to say it or not. After all, you guys, this is not my engine, it's our client's. And for example, if you call a lawyer and ask him for information, do you think he's going to give you any information on the house? Nope. And you know what? If you're my customer, you come down, I'll share everything I know. I just want to show you guys, this is all here. Every time I build an engine, we keep a whole dossier or a file on the engine. This one belongs to Eugene. Of course, part of the file is also for the part of the restoration on the car, but also the engine specs, all of it is in here. Okay, I'm ready to make a test now with the air cleaner. Without changing nothing, I left the same carburetor back to back without the air cleaner, and now with the factory air cleaner. That's going to be supplied and work with the car when Eugene picks it up. Here we go. You know, we're going to run the same temperature right here, 171. Back it up exactly. So we're going to run at 170 degrees Fahrenheit. When we get there, I'll make the blast. Bring up the temperature to 170. I wanted to do the same parameters like before. Okay, we're pretty good. We also have the oil temperature also. So we're gonna get to 170, then we're gonna blast it. Oh no, oh no. God. It shut down. Look, the computer shut down on me. God. Come on, you gotta be joking, man. Gotta be kidding me now. Anyways, you know what? I gotta shut down the computer. It just went zonkers. All right, let me get it restarted. Just when I got the temperature up at 170 degrees Fahrenheit, I put on the load and, oh wow. Okay, give me a few minutes, I'll get it back on. Come on, open up, let's go. God, I just want to, what's going on?
Nick loves working in his dyno room, but he hates waiting for crashing computers.
Come on. Still Eugene's number? Yeah. That's good. Yeah, I'm gonna get it back to 170 when I blast it. Here we go. See? 28, 57, 3000. Okay, we're good. I'm ready. Okay. So let's make our final test with the air cleaner on. If everything goes well, it is ready to be installed into the car when it comes here. Let's see if we're gonna match the horsepower without the air cleaner on. I do not have on hand a K&N air filter, but I'm gonna use the paper element that came with it anyways. So here we go. Everything working? Perfect. Okay, we'll get it to 170. Once we hit 170, we're going. And here we are on the dyno with the last test, and the engine is finally ready for the Charger 500. Okay, let's go. I think we're just about ready. Couple of degrees more. Come on. 166. We took it off at 171. Okay, we're ready. Okay, let's see what we got. It sounds great. Let me tell you what, it sounds a lot better when you're here in person. Okay, let's see what we got. Here we go. So now we did a test with the air cleaner on. Let's see what we got. Let me just highlight it. We'll compare it to the previous test without the air cleaner on. Okay. Again, the power came in at 5,500. This time we pulled out a 519.9, which we're off about exactly 10 horsepower less with the air cleaner on. I don't think it's bad at all. With the air cleaner on, factory air cleaner. You know, here we go. You guys want to check the numbers? We have it here. We had a 520 horsepower, 5,500 RPM, and we had a 4,400, I believe it was, a 546.3 pounds of torque. Not bad. If you guys want to look at the graph, it took, let's see FMs right now with the air cleaner on, but it doesn't matter. You know what? It is a street car. This is the way the car is driven, with the air cleaner on. So there you have it. With the same carb, no changes whatsoever, just an air cleaner with a filter installed. And there you have it, you guys. We lost about 10 horsepower and about what? 8 foot-pounds of torque. Not much of a loss for a car that came with a factory air cleaner. So it's not really bad. It's a very well-designed air cleaner from Chrysler. This air cleaner is open on the bottom side, on the inside. If you guys will take a look, I'll show you what I'm talking about. This air cleaner has no snorkel, but just to show you guys, because you're wondering where is the opening on the sides, they're not open on the side. There you have it. This is what's open right here. Right here. Look at that. This is it. So there we have it. We finalized it. We're still in the close to 550 area with the HP. So now all we have to do is remove it off the dyno, get it cleaned up, and have it completely painted with Hemi orange paint, and then have it ready for installation when the Charger 500 comes into my shop. And you guys, make sure you subscribe to my channel so you can see all the updates on this project. Now, just before I remove the engine off the dyno, I'm going to look at every little thing, oil pressure. I'm going to look if there's any noises on the rockers or noises of any sort. So, I'll never get it running, let it idle, and we'll take it from there. Here we go. Look at that, no seal. Good. The rear seal, front seal, it's all good. Oil pressure is good. I'm just going to bring the RPM down just a little bit. Air fuel ratio is good. Starting at 950 to 1000 RPM. Air fuel ratio is good. Oil pressure is 37, 38 foot-pounds at idle. Hot oil at 158 degrees. So it looks all good. And there you have it. So let's get it ready to remove and then have it painted.
With the testing complete on the Charger 500's engine, Eugene's dream car is one step closer to coming true. Another big step is about to happen at the shop, too, as Nick's longtime lead mechanic and right-hand man Vasily is about to move on to a new gig. Starting a family business with his bride, the wonderful woman he met right here in Nick's dyno room. Vasily will be sorely missed, but we know we've not seen or heard the last of this exemplary young man. For now, Leo, the new guy, is doing his best to fill some very big steel-toed boots and continue the tradition of building new power into old-school muscle at Nick's garage.
And you guys, if you look down below the video, we have a whole bunch of merchandise that you guys can buy. So whatever you like, buy it, love it, wear it, and enjoy it. And help spread the word of Nick's Garage. And if you have some time, check out our Patreon page. We have extra content and you guys can watch it and take it from there. And we'll see you next time.